Well, as you can see by the glorious blue skies behind me, it's an absolutely cracking day. It's the beginning of November and we're up at Ashbury Fisheries again, to the top lake this time. Last time I was here, Ash had mentioned how much these fish are coming on. I think there's something like 6 40-pounders in here now and a good head of 30s to back that up. Some real cracking ones too. So yeah, hopefully we're going to be able to get in amongst them. I'm here to fish with Ash once more. We'll be chewing the fat on various bits and pieces, but the main target is to try and catch ourselves a few carp out of here. Weather looks like it's sort of a little bit up and down, not a huge amount of wind, but as I say, today it's absolutely glorious and you can feel the sun, and obviously it's not long now before we won't be feeling that sun much more for a good few months, so the more of this the better. No complaints from me, universe. Right, let's go and catch up with Ash and see if we can get some rods out, because obviously now the clocks have gone back, the daylight hours are getting a lot shorter. Let's see if we can catch some carp. Right then Ash, this place is looking pretty mega. First time I visited here there was no trees around it whatsoever.
That's it, yeah, it's grown up a little bit in the last sort of 10-15 years, that's for sure. Even since I fished it, you know, the trees were half the size then and now they're climbable. Do you know what I mean? And it's established really well. The lakes are 30 years old now, so they're sort of coming into their prime.
Mega, and I guess the more trees that grow on that far bank, the more wind, sort of sound buffer you get, from the A12.
Yeah, that's it. At the moment we've got a bit of a northwesterly blowing, so there is a bit of road noise coming across, which is a shame. But
surprising how much wind pushes sound about, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and then when it blows from the south or the southeast, you don't hear it at all. You know, and actually randomly, fishing on the other side of the lake, that sound goes over your head and you don't hear it at all. So. But yeah, the swims we're in, we'll have to put up with it for this session.
Cool. All right. So, give us a little rundown of the lake then. What sort of size is it? What sort of stock are we fishing for?
Well, since we took over 2 years ago, we've put 46 fish in. We think there was around 60 fish-ish to start with before we took over. So there's roughly 100, somewhere between 100 and maybe 120 fish at the moment. And the stock have done really, really well. The stockies have done really well in the last 2 years. Like we've had some C3 VSs that we put in at £8 that have now done £21 in less than 2 years. Wow. So we're coming up to 2 years in December. So they're doing really well. And then the original stock have all pushed on as well. You know, they're not super old fish, but they're coming into their prime. You know, 20 to 25 years old, and potentially at the moment there's 6 bites that could be 40-pounders.
Wow. You
know, and 25, 30s to back it up. And even there was a fish I call Elliot's fish because he caught it on a feature with topography, and I think he had it at 27 pound, and that's doing 30. That got caught last weekend at 32 pound 10. So there's a number of fish putting good weight gains on. You know, we are feeding them. We're giving them plenty of rest. And then obviously when the exclusives are on and the members are on, they do get a little bit of pressure, but what we're doing is working, and certainly they seem to be benefiting.
So it's the same setup as the Mere?
Exactly the same setup, yeah. We run a small syndicate, which is a closed shop now, and then you can exclusively book Monday to Friday or Friday to Monday, or for a full week if you want.
And that's throughout the year, or is it winter syndicate? Or?
We take bookings actually all the way through the year now, but I'm fairly sensible with how many bookings we take during the winter, because we do add a number of winter members on. But majority of the bookings are April through to October.
Cool. All right, mate. Now I've seen some pretty awesome pictures of you lately, and I believe you had a bit of a special hit from here. That was recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, from this swim about a month ago now on a full moon. You could just see it happening, really. Like a couple of days before, when I turned up to have a look round, they were feeding hard, you know, and I was itching to get down. And when I did get down, I had a couple of bites within 2 hours of putting the rods out at midnight, you know. And then, yeah, I had 13 bites, 11 fish landed over the next couple of days. It went a bit crazy, really, but let's hope we can nick a couple this time. It'd be good, wouldn't it?
Well, last time we were on the complex, we set ourselves a challenge of 10 fish and a 30-pounder each.
Yeah.
We didn't quite make it, but we were only one fish off, weren't we?
Well, we got 10 bites, didn't we?
We got 10
One
bites.
fell off and I got rather upset.
Mike had a 30.
Lovely fish, didn't he? He had rainers at, I think, 34 pound, didn't he? You know, right on the last gasp, as the rods were on the floor, weren't they? So
Mega carp. So, what's the mission going to be this time then? What are we going to set ourselves?
You mentioned a 20, a 30 and a 40, and I said one better, a double, a 20 and a 30 and a 40, so we'll see how we go, shall we?
Tall order. The worrying thing is I've kind of set myself that challenge twice in the past and passed it, so we've got a lot of pressure on us now, mate.
We'll give it a good go. I mean, you know, we've actually got, although it's cold this week, the pressure's fairly low. You know, light winds at night, I think we're going to have a chance. We'll have a good go anyway, won't we?
Cool. Right, well, like you say, yeah, we'll be putting the effort in and we'll be chewing the fat, I'm sure. So for now, I can see you're itching to get a rod out.
Yeah, that rod needs to get out, doesn't it? We just see one show on the far side, so yeah, let's get it out there. Bang in line with the tree. Got a nice bend on the tip and drop. Didn't get a great drop, but it did go down. I'm going to see what happens. It's a bite, Joe.
Right, so I'm down to the right of Ash, kind of got this corner section, but obviously there's no one here, so I can fish across to the other side if I want to. So yeah, I've got a good section of water out here. To my right, it shallows right up, and quite often there's a lot of weed out there in the summer, so obviously that can be a magnet for carp at all times of year. Biggest weed bed in the lake is normally somewhere that they like to be. So, out in front of me, straight out, it drops off into deeper water. I've not had a flick around here yet. This is just sort of roughly from what Ash has told me. I have actually fished this swim before. I've fished the lake probably a handful of times over the years. And yes, like I say, it's nice to see it coming on so much. There was literally not one tree around here when I first come here. It's just bare banks. And obviously the stocks come on leaps and bounds as well. So yeah, plenty of lovely prizes to be had. As far as a plan's concerned, I'm not even that sure at the moment. I mean, I'm half tempted to put out some bait on one spot just because we've got 3 nights ahead of us. However, I think I'm better off just fishing for a bite. It hasn't been doing loads of fish lately, so they're obviously not bang on the feed. And also the guys who were here at the weekend put 30 kilos of boilies out, so that was only a couple of days ago. So there's obviously a lot of bait still about because the birds have still been picking it up. So yeah, I think I'm better off just fishing a small, attractive, probably just a solid bag with a few little bits and pieces in it. But yeah, a small, attractive trap that if they home in on, then hopefully I should be able to get a bite quite easily. Like I said, 3 nights ahead of us, so I can do that tonight, and if I feel there's a need to put some bait out tomorrow, I will. But for now, let's just try and get a bite.
Need some food soon.
Well, I think it's what, 4 o'clock and the sun's just about to fall behind the horizon.
Yeah, 4:15. 4:15. 4:15.
Depressing times, mate, isn't it? 6 months of winter ahead. If last year's anything to go by.
I know, yeah. It took a while to warm up the spring, didn't it? That's for sure.
So what are you saying then? You feeling confident? You happy with what you're doing?
I am happy. I'm definitely happy with 2 of the rods. I'm going to move 1 rod in a minute. I'm just really waiting to let them show me where they are. At the moment, I'm sort of up the shelf a little bit on the far side, but I really want to come into deeper water for the night time but I'll wait to see. As soon as that sun drops, they'll start showing, I'm sure, within an hour or so. And yeah, then I'll just react to where they are, and hopefully we can nick a bite or two tonight.
Yeah. What's the weather saying? Is it going to be as cold as it was last night?
Yeah, I think it's 1 or 2 degrees.
Really?
But the pressure's still low, so, and then the pressure starts to come up. I think pressure starts to change Wednesday into Thursday. So
nice.
I think it's either going to be tonight or tomorrow night, and then that falls on the new moon as well. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Good job I bought me hot water bottle, mate.
I've got 2.
2 dogs. Wow, top of the morning. It's about 6:30. Been up for the last sort of 20 minutes or so. Yeah, a bit of a change in the old hours of light at the moment. It's obviously much longer nights, and yeah, luckily there's no frost, because there was meant to be a frost today, but I don't think there's one here. I've got a bit of tree cover, so that might be stopping it. But anyway, enough of all that. Guess what? Ash has had one. That's a mega result. There was quite a few fish showing out here last night, especially round to my right in the shallower water. So I repositioned a couple of rods around sort of 11, 12 o'clock to make a little bit of disturbance, trying to find a spot. I had a couple of liners in the night, but yeah, nothing as of yet. However, if it's going to happen, I think it's going to happen very soon. The light's just starting to change. Sun's going to be coming up in the background shortly. Yeah, it is carp o'clock. Come on the £40 common. Anyway, at least we've got one out of the way. I was a bit worried when I woke up this morning and hadn't had any action, but at least Ash has had one. Good lad. Right, coffee o'clock it is. Come on the carp, let's be having ya. What's going on with my barnet? Top of the morning.
Good morning. What a morning it is, eh?
Glorious, eh?
Absolute beautiful morning. Made even more beautiful, we've got one in the sling, eh?
Good skills, mate. Yeah, what happened? Tell us the story.
Well, on dark, or just into, actually it was about 10 o'clock they had a bit of a show up actually. Generally down the middle of, or central area of the lake. And yeah, one of the rods that I moved just into dark, basically a little spot that I spent a little bit of time refining yesterday when we first got here, because I knew we had a little bit of a session ahead of us. I don't normally do it on here. I normally like to fish quite stealthily, not even cast in, but I did have a lead around, found this particular spot out in the middle. And yeah, like, it's just a little dinner plate right out in the middle of the lake. And yeah, that rod's, well, you saw the drop from the boat. It went down with a lovely donk, and we were like, yeah, that's a bite. Wheel handle in, first time in the position, and yeah, literally just before dawn off, it's gone.
Is that the one that you thought the lead might have fallen off?
It was it was that one as well. So I'm glad I left it. Yeah. So.
Excellent. Oh, well done, mate. That's yeah, top result.
I think yeah, we've nicked a bite there, but the sun's out, which wasn't expected. It was supposed to be cloudy today, so. Yeah, hopefully there'll be a chance during the day.
Mega. All right, well, let's have a look at your prize.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Look at that. Lovely old mirror in the morning sunshine.
£25, eh?
So you don't recognise it?
No, I've not. I don't believe I've seen it. I'll check my photos. I'll check the stock photos that I've got in a minute, but I don't recognise it. Those 3 big scales on the sort of on its middle line, and the little paw print, as you said, down, and little penny in the middle. It's a lovely fish though. Well happy to catch that.
Yeah, it's really cool, mate. Good skill.
I'd say it's fairly young as well. It doesn't look old, does it? Right.
Nah, definitely not. Got a nice plump belly on it as well.
So hopefully it's going to grow into a monster. Lovely 25 pounder on a November morning. Just after the first frost, classic big fish time. That's one of the targets ticked off for the session. 20 pounder ticked. Let's get it back. Off you go. Yes.
Well, I've been working my titties off today trying to get a bite, but to no avail so far. There was quite a lot of activity up this end this morning and in the night, so really I should have had a bite. After a little bit more investigation with regards to the lake bed, turns out there's a lot more weed than I first thought, and yeah, to be presented well, I think you need to be finding these small spots or fishing maybe naked chods, but it's not something I've done for a few years, and I'd rather fish with tactics that I'm confident in. So spent a bit of time, far more time than I would have liked, trying to find 3 nice little areas, and I did in the end. So I'm now fishing super effectively in my mind. I've got good drops on all of them. They're not particularly big spots, probably sort of 3 foot, 2.5, 3 foot wide, but yeah, that sort of size really. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better about the night ahead, even though I've probably scared every fish out of the vicinity. But like I say, there's quite a lot of weed out here, and I think that's probably why they like being here. So hopefully they'll be back and I'll get a chance tonight. But at the moment it feels like there's 0 chance because of how much disturbance I've had to make to get these all fishing nicely. So I'm going to knock myself up a nice jacket potato. Ash has had to pop out for a few hours this afternoon. He'll be back in an hour or 2. And hopefully we're going to get another chance tonight. Well, what started off as a lovely sunny session has turned into a pretty miserable, dismal, wintry trip. Really don't think it was the best idea setting such a tall order, but there you go. I didn't have anything again last night other than a 12-hour migraine, which was no fun at all. There was a lot of cold wind and drizzle during the night as well. So yeah, wasn't really much chance of seeing or hearing any fish. Not that you can hear a lot down here at night anyway, because of the A12. But yeah, to be honest with you, as I presumed, I've definitely scared the fish out of here yesterday. and they didn't come back last night. So yeah, I was pretty gutted this morning, and I'll be honest with you, my head's gone a little bit. You know, sometimes you just can't get your head into the zone when you're out on the bank, and I feel like that for this session. But there you go, do have these odd trips, and I don't think the migraine is helping. Still hasn't even gone yet, to be honest with you, and it's well, it's probably about 15 hours now or something like that. So anyway, enough of my whinging. Ash has just had one. Well, I think it was a couple of hours before first light. So yeah, let's go up and see his fish. Apparently it's a really nice old one. So good old Ash has pulled it out of the bag once more. Sounds like it's another 20-pounder. So yeah, I think the chances of completing this challenge are more than slim, but I don't mean to sound too pessimistic. We have still got 24 hours left, but yeah, you never know. Right, let's go and see Ash and check out his old warrior. Oi, oi, he's pulled it out of the bag again.
Number 2, eh? Another 20-pounder though, that's the only problem, isn't it?
That's all right, mate.
It's a good problem to have, I suppose, isn't it?
No complaints. Bit of an old character.
Yeah, it's one of the old original ones, I would have thought.
Mega. So, what are you saying about last night then? It's a bit of a rough old night, wasn't it?
It was grim, to be fair, until this rattled off just before dawn. God. Yeah, it was a rough night, wasn't it? Proper winds, a good bit of rain, but there were 1 or 2 shown just before light, and yeah, managed to nick another one, eh?
Well done, mate. Well, we've got 24 hours to catch a 30 or 40 in a double, so, you know, there's no pressure on us or anything like that.
Well, we're going to pull out all the stops now, aren't we? Give it a go.
Definitely.
I was actually hoping this one was not going to be a 20-pounder when it went in the net, but yeah, it's just crept over at 23-pound.
Cool. All right, well, we'll get him back and then we'll have a little look at what you caught him on, shall we?
Yeah. Just practicing for a prettier one, eh?
Oh, he's gone. Carp juggler extraordinaire.
He's gone. What can you do? You wanted to go back.
Right, mate, we said we'd have a little closer look at what you're using. Something you've been using the last couple of months, is it?
Yeah, literally the last couple of months. I love traditionally, I've loved the Ronnie rig for like 4 or 5 years. And bottom bait wise, I've sort of been searching for a quick change bottom bait rig effectively. And a friend of mine actually was using the corns on a bottom Ronnie basically. And I saw it and I was like, oh, I quite like that. And with a little bit of tweaking, cutting like the O-ring off and stuff like that, and tying the rig like direct to the swivel, and it just looked right. And now with the super corns basically popping or making it sit snowman style because of how buoyant the super corns are. Yeah, I've used it the last couple of weeks and it's certainly catching me a lot of fish.
Right, sorry, you said super corns there, because obviously last time we were out of here you showed us the corn. So what's the difference with the super corns?
So what we've been working on is a more buoyant version. Literally since we released the original concept of the corns, we wanted to make a super corn, a super buoyant hook bait, basically. And the little corns have sold so well but I wanted to make them even more buoyant. And we've enabled with the original version of the corns, 2 large corns would pop a Ronnie up, but now we can pop a Ronnie up with 2 little corns, so it's like proper edgy.
Nice.
And 1 single corn sits like on a 14 or a 16 miller as a snowman, just wafting over the top. Like effectively, it's like a glorified Ronnie German rig, isn't it? What I'm using.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, it's kind of a stiff rig, but that swivel gives the hook so much more movement, doesn't it? Enables it to drop down and do what it needs to do that much better. Yeah,
I started using it with the new claw from Corda, and then I tried the crank, and as soon as I cast it out with the crank, I got a bite, and literally I was getting a bite on the crank rod, like fishing them next to each other. The crank would go, and now I've got, effectively, when I'm fishing in the bottom, all 3 on the cranks. And they're just the normal cranks, not the Kamakuras, just the standard cranks in size 4.
I'm really pleased that you chose this side of the lake for us to fish, with that cold, brutal wind blowing in. Are you?
Oh, mate. When I saw it was going to blow northerly this week, I was a bit like, but I didn't think it would be this bad, to be fair. It feels like it's been a long couple of days, doesn't it? But no, going into the last night, just in 1 show again, so fingers crossed we can nick at least 1 more, eh? That'd be nice. Nick one of them big uns.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be a bit more activity tonight, because last night was so windy and wet, wasn't it? We couldn't even really sit out and look for them.
I literally, you couldn't hear them show, that's for sure. When that rain came in, it was. I don't often zip my bivvy door up, but I literally had a little window, and that was it last night. But
cooker on,
and had a big feed up and went to bed early. So, but tonight the wind is supposed to drop off, and it already is dropping off a little bit now. So hopefully tonight I'll be a little bit more on it. I'm sure you will be as well.
Well, I don't know, this headache's dragging on. I'm looking forward to a good sleep after a migraine all night, but I'm also hoping that something's going to pop out of the woodwork. But to be honest with you, I'm not massively feeling it. It feels like it's a hope game now, really, but we're trying, or I'm trying.
That's it. You've tried a few different things today. I'm sticking to the spots that I found on the first day on 2 of the rods. I've got a zig out at the moment, but I'll probably pull that in and put it back on the bottom. I'll wait and see when the wind dies, see what the fish are doing, and then decide from there. I've just covered the fish that's just shown short in front of me. So yeah, I'll keep trying, and that's all you can do, isn't it? Sometimes it is November. We've been dealt a little bit of a harsh card with the weather, but it is what it is. You've got to make the most of it, haven't you?
Yeah, mate. Well, a bite every night so far, so hopefully Mr. Consistent's going to pull it out of the bag with a whacker.
I reckon you're the one who's going to have a chunk, definitely, mate.
Come on, Bruce.
Yeah, you've been saying it for 2 days, so it's got to happen at some point, isn't it? No, there is a lot of the big uns are due. A couple of them have been out in the last month, but they're in here to catch, so we're going to give it a go, aren't we? So
let's have it. Well, another cold and very quiet night.
Yeah, 48 hours of brutal northerlies has now been replaced by beautiful sunshine and light winds, typical as we're about to pack up and head home. But it was all heading towards that last night, and it just hasn't happened. Real shame. We've hardly heard or saw anything, have we, in the last sort of 12 hours or so. Popped the drone up this morning, and we saw a couple of fish, but literally 2 fish working the margins. And yeah, the deep water spots for me just haven't paid off the 3rd night. So I think, to be fair, I feel very fortunate that I nicked 2 bites, you know, 1 each the first couple of nights. And shame it's not happened, but that's fishing, isn't it?
That's it, mate. Yeah, like you say, I think you've done well to have a couple. I'm going to come back next week, I think, or if I can't next week, then I'm certainly going to try and get another couple of nights in before this show has to go out, because I want to try and settle the score. I don't like being beaten up by lakes.
No, I'm sure you will. And come back fresh next week. I think the weather's a little bit better next week, so
looks nice, doesn't it? Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, that's the thing. The fish we have seen on the drone, they're still active. You know, they're not sitting dormant. They were working the margins. They were not hunting, but they were definitely moving around, still fairly active. And yeah, so there's going to be more chances to come, and the next few weeks, I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 chunks out. Hopefully you'll have one of them, eh?
I'll try. Right, well, had a nice weekend chilling out at home after being outdoors in the cold for 4 days last week, and I'm back. Unfortunately, the 4 guys that were on here over the weekend didn't catch anything. Don't think there's been a lot showing either. I've come back into the same swim that I fished last week. 2 different reasons for that. One, obviously I put a little bit of bait out when I was fishing last week, so hopefully they would have been visiting those spots. 2, when I had a look at the drone footage that Ash got on the last morning, he said there was a fish swimming around this area, and I had a closer look, and there was 2 or 3 sitting in a weed bed as well as that one. And then there was another fish that he was following about on the other side of the lake, sort of not too far from where he was fishing, not quite as far, as in like he was fishing shorter than they were. But yeah, not too far off the reeds over the other side. Again, a lot of weed over there, and I could see other fish sitting in the weed as well. So it seemed like, the majority of the fish were actually sitting in the weed beds, which is kind of what you expect this time of year. Some of them are mooching about, like the ones that he was following were actually swimming around quite a lot. But yeah, so what I could also see from the drone footage was the spots that I was fishing, and after having a couple of little casts a day, just to be 100% sure I was on those spots, I'm super happy with how I'm fishing. I'm fishing 2 of the spots I fished last week. I've put 2 spoms of bait over each of them. I've been soaking some cell up. About a week ago I soaked some cell in some hot water in a cool box, and literally, because of the heat overnight, they softened right up, but also almost there was a little bit slimy, I put a little bit of hemp oil in there as well. So yeah, they've been soaking for like 7 days now in just water, and they're almost like mush. You just literally just can squash them just like that. So yeah, obviously they're pumping out loads of attraction. They appear as though they've been on the lake bed for a bit longer, so hopefully that's going to give me a little edge. I do feel a lot better about this session, to be honest with you. I already feel more confident than I did last week. And the other reason why I'm coming here, there was 3 reasons. Tomorrow we're going to get a southwesterly, and it's the first time we've had a bit of southerly in the wind for a little while, so hopefully that's going to push them up here. I have heard that they do follow new winds in here, and the wind's only up for the day or so, so yeah, I reckon tomorrow it could be a good chance. We'll see what the carp gods have to say about that. Well, it was a really rubbish quiet night last night. I woke up this morning about half an hour before sunrise, sat and watched the water and didn't see anything whatsoever. However, last night I was looking through a bit of drone footage that I got yesterday when I was getting some shots, and I could see a fish sitting on a spot, and then I looked a bit closer and there was another fish sitting on a spot about a rod length away from that. Well, that one was moving, it wasn't just sitting there. and then 2 fish came out of this big weed bed, big dark hole they came out of, joined one of those other fish, and then all 3 of them turned round, went back into this cave. Now this cave must be, I don't know, 15, 20 yards wide, I reckon, or long, should I say. It's hard to say exactly, sort of looking through the drone, but anyway, it looks like quite a big area. There's loads of that slimy, flossy weed on top of it, and 2 or 3 like, entrances and exits. So yeah, without a doubt, that is a carp cave. And you know, I don't normally use drones, or haven't used the drone that much for that kind of thing, but blimey, wow, you can't beat that kind of information, can you? Yeah, I can see why a lot of the people use them and why they're such a big edge. So anyway, yeah, I packed up this morning. There was a guy in here last night, Dan, who works for Tails Up. I jumped straight in his grave this morning as soon as he packed up. I was in here, had a couple of little flicks to find that big clear spot. Found sort of the start of it, this side of it, pulled about 1.5 foot off, clipped up. So yeah, I'm just into it with 2 solid bags. I'm not going to put any other bait out at the moment. You know, the fish are obviously coming over them spots, out of their cave, going over there. So if there's just a little solid bag for them to home in on, hopefully that's all that's going to be required to get a bite. But look, I can't believe we didn't have this weather last week. It's absolutely glorious, lapping up this awesome morning sunshine. Yeah, happy days. All we need now is a big chunk of a carp. Come on, the old carps. Where are you? One of them big ones would be nice, wouldn't it? Come on, universe, please. What you got for us? We got one! Hey, finally. Oh, it took me 6 nights to do it, but we've got ourselves a top lake carp. It's not a monster, but it is a carp, and I am super relieved. Yesterday I was speaking to Owen and said, oh, I've had a proper good look about, there's nothing showing, there's nothing in the edges. They must all be in the middle. I'm putting all the rods out in the middle tonight. And I put a zig out there late afternoon. About 20 minutes after that, a fish showed quite close to it. So I put another rod to the right of that and then marked it up. And yeah, last night put all 3 out there, 2 bait stringers, washed out cell, and about 4 o'clock this morning, had a bite. Nice little tussle, and finally got myself a carp. So yeah, well chuffed with that. They were boshing out like mad last night. I should have caught more. Definitely should have had another one. The moon's a lot better now. The weather's better. You know, as the week's gone by. Oh, go on then. Yeah, as the week's gone by, the conditions just improved tenfold, and the fish have obviously become more active. So I've got to go home today and do a couple of bits and pieces, but I'm half tempted to come back tonight now. It's the 11th of the 11th today, and 11/11 is quite a powerful number for me. So if there's any day of the year I was going to catch a 40-pounder, it's today or tonight. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to end up coming back again. He can't keep away, the boy. Oi, oi, there we go. There's the result of, well, now 6 nights on the top lake with this mega 18-pound mirror. I spoke to Ash this morning, told him how active they were last night, and he has managed to winkle a night tonight. So I'm going to come back, we're both going to fish tonight, and who knows, the universe could just provide that 30 and 40 pounder that we need. All the big ones are well due out. We've got a good moon phase tonight. The weather's really mild, and as I said, they were super active last night, so I'm expecting them to be just as active tonight. Happy days. Lovely jubbly. Right then, mate, I'll get you back to your watery home. Thanks for the visit. You've made me a very happy man. Top of the morning to you. But as you can see, it's very Irish out here this morning. Lots of drizzle. A drizzle old day. And it made even more drizzly by the fact that none of us caught last night. We were so confident as well. There's fish showing in the zones. It just looked and felt bang up for it. It was very flat calm, but even so, you know, when they're that active, there should be a chance of a bite, and well, we fluffed it. But anyway, Ash has had to go off and do some things today. I was just sitting there thinking, oh, shall I do one more night, you know, but can I be bothered to sit here for another day knowing that it's not really happening in the daytime? And then a fish bossed around to the left here, down off the pads, and one did yesterday as well. So I thought, I'm going to go and have a little look in the area. So I waded out, and there's a couple of nice little spots near the pads that look like they've been cleaned off like fairly recently. So yeah, and then I've just been there about sort of 10 seconds. I walked a bit further around the back side of the pads, but started to get a little bit deeper. So I started to come back, and then 3 fish swam around the back of me. Probably like sort of low 20s. But I reckon they were probably sitting in the pads, and I spooked them out of there and they've come out. So I thought, right, I wonder if they're using that set of pads. I wonder if they're using the other set of pads a bit further along the bank. So gone and had a little look up there, walked into the lake, and straight away I could see this big polished off shallow area. Oh, that looks clean, you know. At the moment, obviously, there's leaves everywhere, and if there's not leaves on the bottom, it's been cleaned off by something, you know. It's a bit of an obvious one, but something that some people probably would miss. Anyway, got a little bit further out, and bang, mid-30 comes swimming by, like 6 foot away, and then another one, and another one, and like a lot, like big fish. There must have been 10, 15 fish in a pack just come through, and a couple of them kind of spooked away from me. I just froze. Right, I've got to go and get a rod. So I come up here, got a rod, the old 6-footer, sawn off jobby, and yeah, a little solid bag. And I've walked back up there, walked into the edge, and I wanted to put it out a bit further. But as I got a little bit further out, I could see there was 2 fish just sitting on the spot, probably feeding, you know. So I was like, what do I do? So I was sort of kind of froze, and I just thought, well, I'm already in the lake, I've already made this much disturbance, I might as well just lower the bag in. So I just lowered it in about 8 foot away from where they were. It's quite a big old area. And yeah, I'm buzzing, shaking. I've got a right buzz on. Just reminds me of the kind of fishing that I should be doing, you know, all this sitting behind rods, hoping something's going to happen. It's just, yeah, nowhere near as exciting, is it, you know? Sit there, end up drinking tea all day and what have you. So yeah, I've got my buzz on. There's some big fish up there, and there should be every chance of a bite, I'm sure. We hope anyway. And the thing is, I looked at that solid bag and I thought, oh, it does look a bit blatant, doesn't it? Probably would have been better off with just like a single, like washed out shell or something, or you know, a little bit of pepperami, just something a little bit less blatant, because they're obviously feeding there anyway, and this is going to look a bit unnatural. Yeah, no, don't tell yourself that. No, it's going to happen any minute. It's going.
bit nervous at the moment, to be fair. I'm hoping it's as, I don't know, you never know. Playing them on braid, they can feel massive sometimes, but it's quite a big head shake, so I haven't really got much control over it. It's gone down that margin as if it knows where it's heading for. Please be decent. Oh yeah. Looks quite good, Joe. Come on. Almost linear. Not as big as we were hoping, but she's in the net, eh? Oh, mate. Another night bite. There's a mirror. I thought it was a linear, but it was super cool. Oh. Come back.
Oi, oi, Savaloy. Got to be chuffed with that in you, mate.
Oh, it's a lovely one, isn't it? Just under £24, wasn't it?
They've made us work, haven't they?
Cool. It's all coming good now, though, hey? They're showing like mad out there, and we just had a second bite while we were about to film this one. Literally, just as I'm trying to pick it up, the left-hand rod's gone again. So yeah, could be in for a busy night. You never know. All we want now is 30, and then the magical 40, eh? Imagine.
See the dog's up to. Boys, come on. We've got a fish here. That's what we've been waiting for. Come and have a look. Come on. Bit bigger. Have we got our 30-pounder?
Don't think so, but it's definitely bigger than the other ones, I think.
Oh yeah, no. Look. Not a 30. It's got a bit of a gut on it, so to be sure.
It's a mega old one, this.
Chunky, isn't it? Chunky belly.
It's the leather.
More of a Tracy than a Heather.
Tracy. Yeah. Oh, look at that. I tell you what, they're leached up already.
That's why we haven't been catching them. Sitting around doing nothing.
Sitting dormant
In the weed.
And now they're waking up. 26, 4. But that, I'm very, very, very happy with. I've seen a few anglers catch this. Photographs of it. I'm chuffed that now I've got my turn. Not the biggest carp, but it's a character, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a cool shape.
Proper chunky.
He's got quite a big hump on his shoulders, actually.
Next bite's got to be a 30-pounder, isn't it?
Got to be.
That is a cool carp. Right, see you later, mate.
Well, another dreary old day, but mega result for Ash last night. Yeah, Ash has been really consistent with his fishing. over the last few nights that we've done over here. It doesn't change anything. Unlike myself, I'm constantly changing rigs, baits, different spots, different areas of the lake, trying to do all I can do to nick a bite, whereas Ash tends to just stick to his guns. But what he does do is he spends a hell of a lot of time finding spots, looking for the clear areas within the clearer areas, if you like. Last night it was just going off out there, you know, like probably between 100 and 200 shows out in that central zone. I've moved today, I've come to the other end of the lake, and from here I can just about get to the edge of where they were showing last night, so I'm hoping that we can pull one out of the bag. Whilst I was setting up around here, a good fish showed only about 35 yards out, and that's actually showed twice now since I've been around here, so I found a lovely little spot. Really nice, smooth, silty area in amongst the silkweed, which just feels perfect. And then out here, again, spent a bit of time finding some nice clear areas, and I'm very happy with how I'm fishing. A little bit of bait over each of them, just a little bit of the old mainline hemp and a bit of sweet corn. Yeah, and that's about it. A little bit of cell crumb in there. But yeah, minimal amount of bait, just enough to hopefully get their interest and nick a bite. All the big ones are due. I got completely mugged off under that tree the other day, or just off of that tree. All different types of bait. I say, you know, 3 or 4 different types of bait and different rigs and that, and yeah, they just weren't interested in anything. I don't think they were even feeding really, but seeing them was enough to fire me up to come back again, because there's some big fish in here at the moment and they're all due, so come on. Hopefully between me and Ash we're going to have a big one tonight, because this is really the last night I can commit to this feature, and then I've got to get on with the editing. So come on, please universe. I've been grafting, I've been trying hard, been trying all sorts, and I've had an 18 pounder. Come on, please. Let's just have something a bit more special tonight. Please, pretty please. With cherry on the top. And we're back in Ash's swim.
Oh, come on. Please be the magical 30. Big head shakes.
Left hand rod this time, mate?
Left hand rod, yeah. The one that did the bites last night. I was standing there panicking, thinking I'd put it in the wrong spot, but it's gone, so that'll do. It's been a good fight so far again. Nice proper bite again. Nice head shakes here. This could be the one, Joe. Like you say, law of averages. Guess where they're showing as well.
Where?
They're showing up the shallows. I've heard like 4 now. They're only little ones though. I haven't heard a big one up there. It's in a bit of weed. There's
Well,
another one.
We keep saying careful what you wish for, and the main reason we keep saying that this week is because the other day Ash was like, oh, I really want to stay longer, but I've got to leave at 10:30. And then he gets a phone call. One of his little ones has tested positive, so he's got an excuse to stay at the lake.
Self-isolating at the lake.
Careful what you wish for. You gutted, didn't you, Ash?
I have, obviously I'm gutted she's got it, but she's okay, she's fine.
No, yeah, of course I'm joking really,
She's,
but
I'm just obviously, bless her, Anita's looking after her. She told me to stay here, so what better place to be than catching carp? It doesn't look too bad, Joe.
it doesn't, does it?
There is a lot of 30-pound commons in here, but I don't think it's quite good. Oh, I don't know.
Oi.
How do nicely, wasn't it?
Lovely jubbly, smashing it up.
Oh, it's quite good.
Oh, he's a 30-pounder, mate.
Oh, he's quite good.
Yeah, he's got a width of 30, hasn't he? Oh, where is he? Can't see him on Oh yeah, he's got to be £30.
Yes.
I think you've done it there, Ash.
Oh, mega.
Like we said, it had to be. It just had to be the next fish.
It's got to be £30, hasn't it?
Yeah.
If it's not, it's
Easy,
close.
mate. With that width.
Yeah, does look good, doesn't it?
Mega.
Yes.
Well done, mate. Right, just a 40 to go then. No pressure. Boys, it's a 30-pounder. What are you saying? Huh? Not interested, are you? Safe. Okay, moment of truth. Big long common in the sling, ready to go up. Dun 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 dun. Oh, it's a bit bright. Let's just turn it down a little bit. Right. Where are we?
What is it, Joe?
Oh, it is £30.
Is it?
4 ounces.
Yes!
£30 4. Mega.
Result.
Mega.
Oh,
Hey!
you've done it. 1 to go. Lovely old one. Oh yeah. Alfie, see the fish. Alf, come and see the fish. Come and see the fish. Come and see the fishies.
Hey.
See the fishies. Hey Alf, look at the fishies. Come and see the fishies. 30-pounder, George. We got one. How about that, eh? Lovely 30-pound common.
Mega one, mate. Oh. I bet it would look lovely in the daytime.
Ah, well, it is what it is.
It's that time of year, isn't it?
It's autumn and they feed at night hard, don't they? But hopefully we'll catch one a little bit later in the night. Maybe we will see one in the morning. Might even be £40, Joe, eh?
Here's to wishing. Here's to hoping.
Well,
and all of that.
We keep doing it this week, so you never know. Oh, let's get her back.
Well done.
Yes, off she goes. Let's get another one. Fish, Alfie. Got a fish. Oh yes. But it's orange spot. That's my guess.
The man's on fire.
The app's on fire, mate. That was all down to the app, wasn't it? Literally, we've seen them
not
showing.
really.
Well, little, yeah, but
Certainly helped.
it's helped me put a rig right on top of where those fish were showing, and literally we see them showing from where you're fishing, and I lined it up from my swim, from your swim. Literally 84 yards, clipped it up, 21 wraps, and 10 minutes. That's all it took.
Ash did tell me to go round there and fish from there, but I just feel like I'm constantly going round and casting towards Ash's water, so
Chasing them.
I'll just come back when Ash is not here.
Which will be never. COVID's got anything to do with it? Now, we're getting quite serious now. It's just here, mate. Oh, and it definitely feels...
So, this could be the one.
This could be it, mate. This could be it. I don't know. Certainly feels heavy. I'm seeing quite a big fish come up. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite large. Can you see that, Joe?
Yeah, mate. Does it look a bit like the lady?
Yeah, it does. Look a little bit like the lady. It does indeed. I'm not sure it's quite that big though.
Or is it orange spot?
No, it's not orange spot. I'd say it's... I don't know.
Good
It's
fish,
got
mate.
linear scales on one side, I think.
Gut on it. It's got some girth to it.
Oh,
Yes!
Might be Sparky's sister. Oh, mate, that's huge.
Oh, mate.
Oh my God, it's Sparky's
Easily
sister.
£40. Oh my God.
Oh,
it's
my
massive.
days.
Look at that. I think that might be the one I was watching in the snags when I said a big pale one. That's massive.
That's Sparky's
It's
sister,
like
mate.
mid-40, isn't it?
Well,
He's done it. He's pulled it out of the bag. Oh my God. Mega, man. Mate, that is unreal. Blind him now.
I mean, you can blind
What
me
you
as
got
much
to
as
say?
I don't know. I've got no words.
Job done, Ash. Well, you set the challenge and you smashed the challenge, so...
I need a double though now.
Well, I've had the double,
Yeah,
so...
we've done it together. That's the main thing. Mate, that's got to be £40.
Oh, mate, that's a mid-40. That's massive.
Sparky's sister. Oh,
It's
mate.
huge. When was it last out?
It's never been caught since we took over after, full.
You're joking.
It's been caught twice after spawning at £34.
Right.
And I said, it's got to be £40.
Mate, that's...
But if it's not, it's, I don't know, it looks
that's
huge.
well over £40. It's got to be.
And I got the bite on camera.
Oh, cheers, universe.
I did say a little something earlier as well. That's a bit mad, isn't it?
Say a little prayer for you.
Mate, what's going on?
Oh, epic.
What? 100% that's Sparky's sister.
Look at that.
It doesn't get caught.
It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's quite large, yeah. I think it's quite big.
It's like £44.
Do you reckon?
Surely. And lovely scales down the back.
I'm actually shaking, mate. Wowzers. Oh, Joe. Yes. It's like it's like 1.5 lengths of my hand wide. Hooks out. Oh look, it was right in the centre of its lip. Just one perfect little hook hold. A little bit sneaky as well. I just used a little dumbbell. Cut the top off it.
What, because you're running out of hook baits?
I literally run out of hook baits and it just sits like that. Look how cool that is. Look at that for an image. 40 pounder and a super corn.
Right.
Right, let's get her out and see what she weighs. Oh yes. That's right, the large joke.
That's massive, isn't it?
Wow.
It's so big.
Mate, has this actually happened? Oh, she is pooing. Woo!
You're slapping the face in.
And I got a smash in the face.
That's because you're playing with her poo. She's offended. Oh, now he's licking it.
Sea monster, mate. Sea monster. It's actually sea monster.
Drum roll, please.
Okay.
Cue dramatic music.
Is it, mate?
What did I say?
£43.
£43, bang on.
Is it?
Oh, now. 43.
£43.
£43.
That's 3 definite 40s now. Orange spot was £40.6 a month ago. That's what a beast.
So first time it's done 40?
First time it's done 40, yeah, it did 38.12 before we took over. I think a month or so before we took over, 2019. But we've been saying it's £40, and here it is, £43.
Incredible.
Only ever been caught twice since we took over after spawning at £34, £35. But now it's got its winter weight on. Mega.
Awesome.
Can't believe it.
Right, get a couple of quick snaps, eh?
Yes.
That's a carp, well done, mate. Top angling, very consistent with everything you've been doing, and it was only a matter of time before one of them big uns fell.
Yeah.
Slipped up, should I say.
And the night isn't over either, eh? That's just been greedy, but you never know. You said careful what you wish for. I said no one's done a brace of 40s, but hey, this is just special beyond anything really, given all the circumstances surrounding it as well. So
Common next there, mate, eh?
Semi-common would be nice.
Raise the bar. Well
Right.
done.
Cheers. Oh mate, wow.
What a carp.
I'm sort of lost for words, to be fair. Like, I didn't really dream a catch at Sparky Sister wasn't a target really, because it doesn't do many captures, and it's not done a capture when it's full like this. You know, after spawning when it's hungry, fair enough, but £43 of epicness. What a fight. Everything just brilliant. Great way to end, eh?
Awesome.
Let's let him go. Or her. Bless her. She's been good as gold. Alright, girl, off you go. Make someone else happy another day, eh? Go on, mate. Yes.
Chunk.
Wow, look at it in the water.
I'm sure that's the one I see feeding that margin the other day. It's got to
See?
be. Monsters.
Sea monster.
Plugs are us.
Plugs are us. Got to get a plug in, Joe.
Right, so Ash, what's happened? I left you last night and then I woke up to this morning. What guana?
Full moon effect, isn't it, mate? It's just gone crazy. Yeah, 3 more bites. 3 o'clock, 4:30, and then this one about 6:30. The old Simo Common. Bless it. So we've got a lovely stocky here, which is a VS. And that went in at £7, and I think it's over £20, not even 2 years. So fair play to that.
Absolute banger.
Right.
One of your babies, yeah?
One of our babies, yeah, not even 2 years in. December 2019, it went in at £7, would you believe? And now, 22.8.
That's incredible.
Yes.
And that's a VS fish, yeah?
And that's, yeah, come from VS. Viv let us go down and hand pick them. And this one I took the liking of, and yeah, we put it in the top lake and, well, it's thriving, that's for sure, isn't it? Like, unbelievable. 15.5 pound in less than 2 years. So, yeah.
Well, I think you've got to give it a name, ain't you? How about Corona?
Rona, yeah. I don't know. Probably deserves a slightly better name than Corona. I mean, yeah, we'll have to come up with a name. Maybe we'll get the viewers to name it.
Yeah,
maybe.
a competition, yeah?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, sweet.
What a fish.
Email your names into the carpangle@gmail.com and we shall pick a winner. And a winner will also get a little package of tails up bait, won't they, Ash?
Yeah, we can sort that out.
Say anything to him at the moment. Awesome, well done, mate. Right, we'll get a couple of snaps of that one because that's a little peach.
Look at that. So after Sparky's sister, next bite, 3:30 this morning, this old one's come along, 25 pound-ish, lovely old mirror. I'm gonna get her back. She wants to go. She's gone.
Go back struggling, mate.
There was a leaf on her dorsal. She's good now.
Leave it out, bruv. Look at that. Absolutely immense creature. Topping off an immense session. Ash has fished his arse off and, you know, he's been very consistent with what he's doing. He's spent a lot of time finding spots and yeah, moving them as to where the fish are showing most in the evening. So, top angling all round, mate. Very impressive. What a haul of carp.
Number 10, eh? Unbelievable.
Well, that is it. We're wrapping it up now. So, what a fish to end it with. Any final words, Ash?
Thanks for coming, and it's just been great, light few days really, hasn't it? You know, the last few days just been unreal, and I have to say thanks to my missus Anita, because she was the one who told me to stay here because the kids got COVID and because I hadn't been home for a few days. Even Track and Trace said to stay here, so yeah, thank you.
And happy birthday, Ash's mum.
Yeah, 70, eh? I was on the phone to her when I got the bite. So, yeah, happy days.
My red letter session has got to be last year. I'd been fishing on a lagoon and it got to about end of July, start of August, and there was a bit of an algae bloom, a bit of blue-green algae. It wasn't fishing particularly well. I felt I needed a change. I felt I was going a bit stale, if you like. So I decided to go and have a go over the dark side, as they call it, over the shallow pit. And I remember I turned up on there. I think it was on a Sunday or Monday. I've pulled up on the drive bank. I've looked across and I've seen the end of Ireland, what they call the end of Ireland swim. So I've had a stroll around there. I thought, yeah, no one on there, and I couldn't believe it. There was not a soul on there. So I thought, it looked good. I'm sure I'd seen the fish. I grabbed my gear, I got round there, and I can remember, I found a nice spot about 11 wraps out, brought in a bit of weed from that spot as well, and I'd had the lead on me rod, and it had hooked through a bloodworm, and a swan mussel, and a snail. And I thought, that's got to be. Bearing in mind, I was already clipped up at 11 wraps from the lagoon. I thought, that has got to be. So, yep, done that, filled it in with loads of sail. That morning, I had a blistering take. Unfortunately, I lost a fish in the boat battle. Anyway, got my rods back out. Next take, I landed. Bit of weed round there, parted the mesh. I looked down and my God, I could have put a saddle on it and rode it. There was a fella around the corner just setting up. I said, shout across, can you do a photo? He's come out. I said, I think I might have Colin. He said, oh, I soon know, I had Colin a couple of weeks ago. I said, how big do you have it? He said, oh, 50 pounds, so and so. So he looked, he said, yep, you've got Colin. My God. Bearing in mind, my personal best was £38, the one I've just talked about from the Met. So I've not even had the 40 by then. So Colin at 50 blew it out of the water. I went on to catch another 6 fish in that session. I think 2-3 other 30s, and in like a 24-hour period. It was amazing. I was shocked. That was pucker.
Well, I had another little spot which was just the next gap along, and I baited that 3 times yesterday and then once again this morning, and I had a little look sort of early afternoon, and there's 3 fish on it. Nothing monstrous, but one of them was probably mid-20 or something. So I thought, right, let's get a rod in there. So I got another 6-footer out, put that on the spot, same sort of tactics, but this time I just put like a Magaliner setup on, rather than having the little pop-up on there too. And then I left it for about half an hour, not even that actually, 15-20 minutes. Come back for a little look, and sure enough, there's fish on it again, like flanking all around the spot, tails up, and it's just like, right, I've got to get the camera because I could get one on, you know, live here. So I've gone and got the camera. I was just setting it up where it is, just getting the shot, and rod's gone. Anyway, it's in the net. It's a little one. I'll tell you what, the old adrenaline is seriously running through my veins at this moment. But I should get him out of there as quickly as possible, because obviously I don't really want to spook the area too much, because there's obviously other fish using it, and yeah, still would be nice to catch a big one. I know it sounds a bit greedy, but I think so far I've been unlucky for the size of them. But anyway, let's have a little look at this little cool little character. Yeah. Well, here's a miniature one, this one. But he is a little character, like I said. It's got them mad red patches, and then down the back is, I don't even know how to describe him, to be honest with you. But yeah, certainly for his size, he's a cool little character that doesn't want to be still. But I don't want to be messing around with this one. I want to get him back ASAP, because I've already seen another fish feeding on the spot. Your mates ain't shy, are they, boy? Right, we'll get you back, little nutter. Thanks for the visit. just watching the old sunset, or grey set as it is tonight. Lots of grey clouds, but some pretty cool formations. And yeah, the new spot has produced another fish, this time a common. Oh, lovely little common. Probably about £16, I reckon. But yeah, mint condition, put up a good scrap, and I can't believe the way this session's going. 24 hours on Jigsaw Lake and I've had 4 fish. I said to Luke yesterday, who runs the complex, just to try and get an idea of how hard it was really. What's the average sort of, or what's a good season on it? So a good season is 15 fish in a year. So 4 in a night, or 24 hours, it's going pretty well. And if they keep coming like this, it's only a matter of time before one of them big old jewels slips up. Like I said, there's some incredible looking fish in here. So hopefully we're going to get to meet one in the next couple of days. Excellent. You're a cool little character, aren't you, mate? Well, sadly, no more bites were forthcoming last night. Normally the way when you're expecting them, isn't it? But it's still the morning, still got a bit of time. What I'm going to do today is pull these rods in about another hour or so. Mate Darren's coming down, he's going to do a bit of filming, he's bringing his drone with him, and I think we're going to go over to Clover Lake and try and get a bite or two, well, just try and get one to be honest with you, out of there today. There's a few spots that I baited up a couple of days ago. It's an area that you're only really allowed to fish in the daytime, so I'm going to take a few rods around there, a little bit of kit, and hopefully we can catch one for the cameras live. But I'll also bait up these spots before I leave, come back later on, and if they look like they've been fed on, I might do another night in here. But if it looks like the spot's died, which is potentially possible considering, you know, it's quite a small area, I'm sure they're quite a close-knit family of fish, and they've probably warned each other, don't go down the old back channel, Joe's up there. But yeah, we'll see what happens. If there's every chance they could get back in here this afternoon, and obviously if I give them a good bit of grub, they're going to have a nice free feed, and hopefully by the time I get back I might be able to snare another one. Like I say, I've kind of got a bit between my teeth now to try and catch something a bit bigger out of here. I think I've been pretty unlucky with the sizes, lucky with the amount of bites, but as I say, I think the average in here is a bit bigger than what I've caught. Hopefully them big fat old females will be drifting in at some point today. Right, get the kettle on, have a coffee, Darren will be here soon, get a few bits together, we'll go stalking. Yeehaw. Well, we've come over to what is known as Clover Lake, as surprisingly enough it's shaped like a clover. Cracking little lake, not sure exactly how big it is, I'd say a rough guess about 6 acres. I think there's quite a few in here, and there's a real mixed bag, lots of different looking characters, which is what I love about my fishing. You know, I don't like to go to lakes where they're all peas in a pod. It's nice to catch a variety of different looking ones. Now I came over here a couple of days ago, baited up a few spots on this little island here, but I've also been tipped off there's another island on the opposite end of the lake which has similar kind of spots and can be quite productive as well. So we're going to top up the spots that I baited the other day first, then we're going to wander around to the other side, bait up a few spots there. Hopefully by the time we get back here there's going to be some fish showing some interest in the bait, and we'll get some 6-footers on them and hopefully catch one. So, like I say, first of all, nice bucket full of bait, a few handfuls on each spot, and then round to the other side. Right, first port of call, this lovely overhang here. There's a few spots dotted along this side of the island, so what I'm going to do is probably going to bait half a dozen. Got a nice mixture, there's pellets, sweet corn, hemp, some chopped nuts in there, a few 10mm boilies, and lots and lots of attraction, and a bit of colour obviously as well with the corn. So if I bait half a dozen spots up along here, it gives me different options, but also, more importantly, it gets the fish feeding confidently as they're drifting along. So even if you're not fishing that particular spot, they're going to visit that, eat it freely, and hopefully if the next one's the one with your rig on, they're going to approach that confidently as well. Literally a couple of handfuls. I can see all the cloudy stuff in the mix just sort of seeping through the water column, hanging in there. So if there's any fish about, that's going to grab their attention 100%. Right, next one. It's actually surprising how much it has coloured up, and it's a little bit annoying, to be honest with her, because it was a lovely little spot. I can't remember exactly where it was. I'm pretty sure it was just down here, but literally due to the clarity of the water, I can't even see that now. I'm sure we'll see if they're on it though. There'll be a bit of bubbling and some sort of signs. But yeah, that's this bit done for now. Let's head round the other side and get prepped up as well. I've ordered a load of atmospheric flies to make the shot look a bit cooler. We've got a beautiful clear river. The birds, listen to them go. Like nature's techno. I think sometimes you just like tune out of that and you don't even notice it. But sometimes, you know, if you literally tune in and just listen to all those different sounds, it really is incredible. Lovely. Well, there are carp in this river. Unfortunately though, it's closed season, so let's crack on. Oh, yeah, just spooked one out here on the surface. Plenty enough. Well, there's definitely carp in the area, so let's see if they fancy a munch. Well, this is what you call a proper carp syndicate. What do I mean by that? Well, look, pegs to get up the trees. Every decent lake should have them. Just gives you that extra little bit of vantage, and yeah, obviously because you've got that bit of height, it takes a lot of the glare off the water. You can see a hell of a lot more. You just need to be aware when you're up a tree and you're relying on branches to spread your weight. Don't put all your weight on one branch. The other day I was up the tree and Jamie rang me to say that James has had one. I put the phone back in my pocket and the branch that I had my 1 foot on as I was taking the weight of the other one off just gave way. And I just straight down hit the floor. Luckily I was only sort of 6 foot off the ground, and luckily there was no other branches in the way. But yeah, when you're climbing trees, just try and be aware that you are putting yourself in a slightly precarious position. So yeah, safety first, folks. Well, I gave it probably at least an hour and a half on those spots, and I was having a good look in the margins, didn't see any signs of activity whatsoever. And the other day, I did bump into quite a few fish in that vicinity. So I thought, they must be somewhere, I need to get on my toes and find them. So I had a quick walk down the other end, and lo and behold, probably at least 15 fish sitting under the surface where there's a load of the fluff built up. and a few of them came milling along the edge as if they maybe had been eating a bit of the bait I put out, because they kind of looked like they were looking for it. But they also spooked off of me, and I was just stood back a little bit in this black jumper. So I've got a nice new subsurface t-shirt in here. The lads were kind enough to send me this week. I think that's got a bit more of a greeny tone, so I should blend in a little bit more. Chuck the gear in the car, we're going to drive up to the other end and see if we can catch one up there. But I have just bumped into a lad who fishes here, and he's informed me it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. It's quite a tricky lake, this one. So maybe a quick bite is not going to be that easy to come by. However, that sounded more like a challenge to me. So we're going to give it a go. Let's get around there. Well, that is exciting, although I completely fluffed it up. Do you know what? Years and years ago, I went to Church Lakes and fished with Alan Blair. And Alan had a couple in the afternoon, just using like slow sinking maggots, flicking it out in front of him. And then the next morning, I wasn't happy with what I was doing because I couldn't find any spots. And anyway, I woke up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, went for a little look down my end, and there was fish everywhere. So I thought, well, I haven't got any maggots, but I've got some worms. I'll bodge something up and do what Alan was doing just to give it a go. I actually caught, before I tell you what I caught, before I caught anything, I was casting it in front of this 50-pound common. It was absolutely enormous, and about 4 times this common was just completely mugged me off. And in the end, it was like, piss off, Joe, like, and swam off into the lake. So yeah, it wasn't doing my confidence any good. Anyway, saw another really nice common, flicked it in front of that. Second time, took it, bang, 38-pound wood carving, epic carp. And I went on to catch a few more after that using that tactic. However, it's not something I've used anywhere else since. And there's lots of opportunities that I do get a chance to use it, you know, i.e. when you're close enough to cast that kind of thing to them. And today, when I bumped into that lad, he said, oh, it was black with them on top recently. He said, but they wouldn't take anything off the top. So I thought, well, maybe I'll give the old Blair tactic a go. So I've just had a go at that, and I think I just annoyed them, to be honest with you. None of them were interested in it whatsoever. They just wanted to sit there and chill in the sunshine. Who can blame them? However, they are still about, and they are occasionally coming in close to this margin spot. I've got another one just under a little tree up here, and then another one which I've just found a real tasty looking spot that looks like it would be awkward to get to. So yeah, potentially hasn't been fished a great deal. That's right near where they are. So yeah, I'm confident with what I'm doing, but now he's told me how wary they are and how hard they are to catch, and his mates have done like 3 48-hour sessions on the bounce and not had a fish. It's not good to hear them kind of things. In fact, I wish I wouldn't have bumped into you now, James. I was flying with confidence before I heard that, and if I would have come around here and seen all them without knowing that, I'd be sitting here now going, any second, any second. But the reality of it is, they're only carp, so it could be any second, or I might blank. But we'll certainly have a blooming good go. Well, the fish seemed to do the off in that corner, which was weird because, you know, they came back after I upset them. But yeah, I think the weather might have changed a little bit, and sometimes, I remember when we done the underwater filming, when the sun would go behind the clouds, the fish would be more inclined to drift in and have a little munch in the margins. So I come around here where these fish showed, had a quick look, and there's a lot of scum that's floated up on the surface around here. And I did put a bit of bait in here earlier, so there's a good chance they've been having a little munch up on that. And then there's an overhanging tree as well. And when I came round here, lo and behold, one crashed out right underneath the tree. So 2 bags at the ready, gonna be dropped kind of as stealthily as I can. Let's see if we can get one. This is kind of like the last roll of the dice. We're running out of time, got about another hour. But even if we don't catch a fish, we are in stunning, stunning surroundings. Got a lovely river running to this, down the side of us here. 2 rivers actually just meet over there. But yeah, obviously we're out of season, but I know there are carp in there, so maybe one day we'll come back and have a little go for them. But in the meantime, I need to catch one out of here. Well, I was just up that little tree there and I watched two fish go over the spot, and I said to Darren, there's a good chance here, they're about, we've just got to be quiet. And I was up the tree, this one's gone underneath the bush and we've got a carp on, and it looks like a nice one as well. Whew. Oh, let's take this easy and try and make sure we can get it in. Come on, girl. We need you. We need you. You've been sent from the universe. Please do as... Oh my God, it's an absolute cracker. Scales all over it. Ooh. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Yes. Yeah. Mega, we got one. Oh mate, I cannot tell you how happy I am. And you wait until you see this carp. It's not a monster, but it is an absolute weapon of a carp. Yes, yes, thank you, universe. Skills. Woohoo! I can't even explain how happy I am to catch this incredible creature. He really is a serious day-saving gem, and what a character too. Them massive scales are really unique, aren't they? And he's got like a little head, little mouth, a bit of a funny dorsal by the looks of it as well, and kind of wrinkly lines in between the scales. You don't know how happy I am to catch you today, mister. You have done us proud. Put in the effort, fish those little spots that, you know, people probably don't really fish that often, and they can produce you the goods and keep mobile as well. I mean, obviously them fish just seem to have disappeared out of that bay as soon as the sun went in. The weather had changed, a couple of carp showed off this margin. Normally when the carp are showing, they're having a feed up, and obviously they'd disappeared from there. I knew they had to be somewhere. So yeah, I like to say I was watching another one ghost over the spot just before this one went on the under the bush rod. So yeah, they were about, and still might be another chance, but it looks like it might tip it down. Maybe we'll give it another 20 minutes, half hour. But yeah, more than happy with this. Thank you, Mr. Carp. One last look at a mega cool carp. Wow. Sometimes you just don't want to let them go. Thank you very much. You have more than made our day. That's exactly what we were after. Thank you, carp, and thank you, universe.
Well, I do lots of different little adaptations of rigs and things like that, but I think one of the more interesting things that I've come up with, well, I've been using it for 30 odd years, best part of 40 years I guess. I'm not saying it's my idea, it was just a principle that worked great, that I picked up on when I was a younger fella, and I used to make my own, and it was just magnificent. Anyway, a mate of mine, Chris at Enterprise, he makes them now. I give him the idea, I says, listen, do these for zig fishing, and rather than using a marker float to find the depth, all you do is, it works on a principle a bit like a Polaris float I guess. The line goes through the top eye, through the one on the side and one on the bottom. When the line's slack, it can cannon to the surface with the lead on the end. So you cast it out, the line going through here, lead on the end. This whips to the surface. As soon as you tighten the line, it traps in creating a V, if you know what I mean. And it locks in that position. So you can get it in, put it in a line clip before you retrieve. Keep your mark on your horizon in your mind. You bring it in, and it gives you the depth to the inch. There's none of this sort of, oh, I might have measured a foot slightly longer or another. I can fish with this, it's that precise. When I get my zig, I lay it out next to it and create the zig, and if I want to be an inch under the surface, I can with this, it's that accurate. And there's none of that time delay, I can do it dead quick, I can plumb my swim in seconds with this. And but I don't only use it for that, what I use it for,
particularly in winter. I first tried it on Cuttle Mill probably for 25 years ago or more. I made some of these specifically for the job. I was already using many, but I made some that were nice and visual, some slightly chunky ones with pipe floats. I turned up and I put a running rig on the end, and so I'd got a tulip bead with a run ring with a lead on, and then a normal rig. And I just put a bag on the rig once it come to the casting time. But what I did, just cast it out, and then the float had come to the surface on a slack line, even though I got a rig on it, put it in the line clip, but on top of the float I had a 6mm bead. So I'd get it in, and that gave me the depth, and it was about 4.5 feet at the time. So I'd get it locked in position, and then there's a bead on top of it, I'd get some power gum, and I'd put a stop knot on and just slide it down a little. Cast a running rig out with a PVA bag on it, so my float had come to the surface. Or you can fish it slightly over depth, it doesn't matter. So what I'd got, I wanted to be precise with my baiting, so I got a running rig on the bottom, because we used to get what we thought were a lot of liners, but also a lot of missed bites. The fish would set you on and constantly having to go at your rig. So I was spraying it with 10mm. So what I'd have is a running rig up to the float, so the line wasn't cutting through the swim, it just was one vertical line. And I'd got a marker, permanent marker, to just keep pulling 10mm to, little and often. I had some mega hits on that. I had some people taking a piss saying if you took up pike fishing and all the rest of it. But once it started to work, I'd fish it on the buzzers. You still, a lot of the time, the float would just collapse and disappear, and you get a screaming run, you know. But my baiting was ever so good, because I had as good as you think you are, and you know, if you want to keep stuff really tight, you can use it as a permanent target to aim for. And I'm not saying it's the be all of everything, but it was dead accurate and interesting. And it's great when you just sat there with a couple of floats out and you see one start to twitch and that, you know. And a few times I thought, oh, that's different, someone's having a go, and I cracked it. Didn't always get them, but I had bonus fish that I probably would have missed otherwise. So, nice little interesting thing. And they do a small one for sort of margin fishing and that, if you're fishing for tench-shot bream or other species. It still works just the same principle, you know. So it's float fishing, float ledgering really, is the way I'd call it, and it's great for that. And try it before you dismiss it, it's very good.
Oh, nice bit of palm tree background. I'd like to tell you I was in Asia or somewhere warm, but unfortunately I'm in the garden with the chickens. Right, pipe down you lot. Sunday tomorrow and you ain't been laying eggs lately. Just a quick one, wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who supported Carp Angle throughout the last year or so. Obviously I couldn't have done it without you. And to the 99% of people who've been watching the show and haven't contributed once, maybe this is your chance. Little Christmas tip. So yeah, if you fancy buying me a Christmas drink, you can. The details for PayPal are thecarpangle@gmail.com, or if you click on the link in the info below this video, or the link on Instagram, that takes you straight through to the PayPal system, where you don't even need a PayPal account. You can do that purely on your card, and it's really easy to set up a monthly payment should you wish to. Well, Christmas literally just round the corner now. I'll try and get something out around Christmas time, so you've got a little bit of Christmas entertainment other than the Queen's speech. Aside from that, I fully recommend watching Fantastic Fungi on Netflix. There's loads of really good information in there that could help quite a few people, I'm sure. So yeah, check that out. But apart from that, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and yeah, hope you have a wonderful one with all your family, and with any luck you'll be getting the rods out at some point and trying to catch yourself a Christmas carp. Right, that's all from me. We'll see you in January, if not before.